Hi, welcome to Book Chat. My name is Rick Paszkiet. I'm content guy for the business law section. And we are here today to talk to the editor of Nonprofit Law, a practical guide to legal issues for nonprofit organizations. And the editor is Bill Boyd. Hello. Bill, this book has done phenomenally well for this section, and it seems to really resonate with our audience. Is there a hunger from lawyers just trying to understand the mechanics of nonprofit law?
Yes, in fact, the book is based on a webinar series that the Nonprofit Organizations Committee has been putting together for the last several years, and it's called Nonprofit Law for the Non-Nonprofit Attorney. And the focus of the audience is attorneys who work with nonprofits but not on a regular basis, and they have lots of questions about nonprofits, and we've tried in the book as well as in the webinar series to answer some of those questions.
And what is the most common pitfall that an attorney would make in dealing with a nonprofit?
Well, we broke up the book into really three main topics, and we have organizational issues. So just forming a nonprofit can have issues that the attorney that's not familiar with nonprofits may not be aware of. And so we tried to highlight things that the attorney should be thinking about. And then we move into tax issues. And when you're dealing with a charitable nonprofit corporation, you need to be mindful that there are rules under the Internal Revenue Code that you need to follow to make sure that you keep your tax-exempt status. Lots of pitfalls that you can run into, and we tried to highlight some of the concerns you should be thinking about.
Great. And one thing about the book, and you can tell that it's a relatively thin book, is that it poses the questions for the lawyers to think about. So you're not the last word, but how, if the author wants or the reader wants more insight into these topics, what's your advice?
Well, we do have in the back of the book bibliography that provides more resources. The Nonprofit Organizations Committee for the Business Law section has been very active in writing other books, and so we have books on religious corporations, a service on board of directors, and so forth that are good reference materials that provide more detail if an attorney has questions. And then we also cite to other publications, including Internal Revenue Service publications.
Great. And there seems to be more hunger for information for attorneys on the nonprofit. Is there a reason? Is this becoming more, in play? Why is there seem to be more focus on this topic now?
Well, there's been the continued growth of nonprofit organizations around the country, and there's a limited number of attorneys that focus their practice on nonprofit organizations. And so you have organizations that are seeking legal services and will go to an attorney that doesn't necessarily work frequently with nonprofits, and so they have questions that come up. You also have a good number of attorneys who serve on board of directors. I mean, you look at any community and their nonprofit boards, and you'll have attorneys serving on those boards. They may not expect to be representing the nonprofits, but just serving as board members. But because they are lawyers, often the board will look to them for legal assistance on issues that come up for the board.
Well, and this book really, articulates the issues, and I think you organize it in a very, very easy way for the lawyer to go through the issues one by one.
And we try to do it basically into three topics. Again, formation issues, tax issues, including how do you seek tax-exempt status, and then once you have it, how do you comply with the requirements and that the Internal Revenue Code imposes, and then thirdly, governance issues, and governance in terms of serving on board of directors as well as being an officer for the organization.
Okay, and governance seems always, at least now, we're always reading about it in the news, whether it's for a for-profit or for not-for-profit. What is the big difference between serving on a board between a for-profit and not-for-profit?
Well, you have different constituencies that you'll be thinking about in terms of decision-making for the board member. When you look at it, a for-profit organization has shareholders. Some nonprofits will have members, but they're not owners of the organization. So when a nonprofit director is fulfilling the fiduciary duties that's imposed on the director, thinking about a few different things than what a normal or a business corporation director would be thinking about.
Right. Well, thanks again for spending a little bit of time with us. And the book is Nonprofit Law, doing very well. And if you're interested, please go to www.shopaba.org. Thank you.
Thank you.